It's this thing called the ick. The ick. It's a dating term that means you get a sudden cringe feeling when you have a romantic contact with somebody and become almost immediately put off by them. Almost immediately is what it says. And there's a lot of different things that are within an ick. Like there's entire places, there's an entire thing called TikTok. So it's on TikTok and you can find people that talk about their icks. So here's one. And the question I'm with this, why am I talking about this? Well, because it has to do with dating, relationships, and especially the feelings of young men on this International Men's Day. How can men live up to the standards that women set upon them? Are they too high? Are they too high? And so I have like different videos, TikToks, things like that I want to share. I'm going to screen share on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Rumble, all that kind of stuff. And I'm going to show you guys and have you listen to just what some people call icks. And some of them I think could be considered reasonable. Others are not. We're going to start with this young lady and what she has to say her ick is. She was asked on the street what her ick is. Take a look and a listen.
What's your biggest ick in a guy?
Like when they... No, okay.
Say it. Say
no,
it.
No.
Run it.
That was so mean. I was going to say if they're like really nice, it's such an ick.
Be asshole.
Yeah. So he even says in there, I just dumped it, so I don't think it'll air on the radio. But you probably heard her say being too nice if a guy's too nice, that's a thing. That's an ick. That'll immediately turn off a woman. Some women, not all women. Some women will be immediately turned off of a guy because he's quote unquote too nice. Now, what does that even mean? Right? If a guy is too nice. So if a guy is chivalrous, how do you think that a young man is going to react to that? Or what is a woman really looking for? What is a woman looking for if she doesn't want a guy that's nice or too nice? What qualifies too nice? These are questions that a young man would have hearing that. It's questions I would consider myself a young man, and they're questions a young man like me is having currently. There's other ones as well, other icks that people are bringing up. It goes across so many levels. There's one here that I was talking with a young woman just recently, and she told me a guy who pushes a shopping cart. If she sees a guy pushing a shopping cart, that would be problematic, that she could be immediately turned off by that guy. Well, here was my response to her. I asked, because I go, well, I asked first, why is that an ick? And she was like, it's weird to me. Like, that's something that the woman would do, is you push a shopping cart. And I was like, okay, I can actually kind of respect that. But from a man's perspective, let's say I was going out with somebody I'd been dating for quite a while. And to be courteous, we went grocery shopping together. Maybe we lived together at this point. We might have even been engaged, whatever. To be courteous to her, I figured I would push the shopping cart because that would be an undue burden that I didn't want her to have to take on. Maybe we're getting a lot of stuff, and I was like, I'll push the shopping cart. I'll grab it for you. One last thing you have to think about. An act of service, one might say. But that would immediately, me trying to do that for you, would give you the ick, I asked. And then she was like, well, okay, I could kind of understand that. And that's where we get into the idea of intent. What are people's intentions? What are people's intentions? Because somebody could do something that's an ick, again, something that would immediately turn you off from wanting to date them or be romantically involved with them. But they could do it with an intention that actually might be sweet or caring or loving. So there's that one. But there's other ones, too, that people have. And some of them, you might hear that I'm playing it on air right now. I'm going to pull it up to make sure everybody can see it online. I have more icks. Some of these might be reasonable. Some might be unreasonable. And I just want to go through them because I think they're fascinating to hear what young people consider a turnoff in dating and how this could actually hurt the entire idea of a relationship. And I have a full idea and theory about icks that I'm going to share once we cover just some more of these. Let's take a look and listen to these.
Biggest icks in a guy?
Mommy's boy.
Mommy's boy?
Can't do it.
Doesn't that mean he knows how to treat a woman, though?
No, you would think, but they don't.
When they like can't handle their alcohol, like when they black out, that's for girls.
It's for girls.
So you guys tell me you guys don't like the guy at the party that's getting naked and just running everywhere?
I mean,
So then she
I think
starts
he would be
backtracking
a,
a
fun
bit.
guy. Like that would be so.
I think he might be a fun guy. Also, can I just point out how these women, like their voices are just like incredibly annoying, in my personal opinion. Like, oh my God, I just don't want a guy who can't handle his liquor. First off, that's actually a reasonable one, in my opinion. A guy that consistently drinks way too much and cannot handle it. That's a reasonable, and a guy that takes his clothes off and gets naked at a party, that would be more of a reasonable ick to me. But that girl just backtracked on it. The first one, mommy's boy. Okay, if you're older, and this is where we get into the complexity of it, right? I have a very good relationship with my mom. I love my mom. I've talked about it on the show before. She's a hero to me. I have a great level of respect and admiration for my mother. Some people might claim that I'm a mommy's boy because of that. I would unashamedly say, sure, call me a mama's boy, because I love my mom and she's great. But is that what she means, or does she mean like an older individual that like somebody my age cuddling with their mom still? Because that would be weird, and that would be an ick. What do people mean? Why can we not define our terms? Why can we not define our terms? What is genuinely the ick within all of this? I have a few more when it comes to being reasonable or not. Again, I believe that there are reasonable icks that people can have, like drinking too much. That makes sense. I can understand that. Share this tab. Okay, so I'm sharing this one. Look and listen to a few more that we have here.
Hey, what's your biggest ick?
When a boy has bad breath, you obviously knew we were gonna hang out.
Hey, what's your biggest ick?
When
See, that one's reasonable. So there's another one here that's about to play, and I want to cover this one.
It's not alright.
Sorry, I'm messing up. I produce my own show. It's not always easy. But bad breath. You don't take care of yourself. I can understand that one. That's reasonable. Now listen to this one.
You knew we were gonna hang out.
Hey, what's your biggest ick?
When a man rides a bicycle, it's not alright. You look weird.
Hey, what's your biggest ick?
When a man rides a bicycle, that's an ick to young women. This is all the reason I'm doing this. You guys might be wondering, why are you doing this, Kev? Why are you going through all these different people? Because I'm trying to understand. I grew up with a mom and two sisters, right? I grew up with a mom and two sisters. You would think I would be better posed to understand how women think, what women want, and what they look for, especially in terms of a dating romantic sense. But when I hear that someone's biggest ick, their turnoff from a man is them riding a bicycle, a man riding a bicycle, that's an ick. I am 100% back to the drawing board. I have no idea. I don't understand. I know women that cannot ride a bicycle. Seriously, I know there at least one woman that I know cannot ride a bicycle. And so, my point, why is it an ick that a man rides a bicycle? What if he's trying to get fit? What if it's mode of transportation? He's a younger guy. He's paying for college, something like that. And so he has to ride a bike to and from work. Or he's like a little environmentally conscious, which I would consider kind of a liberal, loony thing. But like, okay, maybe. But that's an ick. There's a few more here. Let's take a look and a listen. And then I'm going to get into the overall, my idea about icks.
When some guy tries to put his hand in my back pocket, I can't handle
Preference.
it. I'm like,
I can understand that one.
But I'm like, I'm an independent woman.
Hey, what's your biggest ick?
Guys planning a sleepover. It's just weird. Like, you shouldn't be having a sleepover with your guy friend. Like, that's just something a girl only should do. Like, if it happens, it happens. Like, not saying you can't have a sleepover, just planning it is weird.
Yeah.
Okay, these are really weird things that they think about. A guy planning to have a sleepover. And the list goes on. Across social media, there are lists and lists and lists of people, of people's ick. There's two sides of it. There's a reasonable level of preference. Because if I were to say icks that I had, quote unquote, which I would just describe as preferences in who I look for in a partner, is I don't want somebody who's absurdly overweight or somebody that is unnecessarily untidy all the time. Somebody that doesn't know how to dress or act appropriately in public. Because all of these are reflections of who you are and the standards you hold yourself to. If you don't care about your weight, then you obviously, that's not something that's important to you. You don't care about the image that you put out to other people. I want somebody who does. If you are untidy, unclean, you don't shower, you don't shave, you don't maybe put on some makeup when you're going to something nicer or even just going out and you're going to be seen in public, You don't care about the image that you give off to other people. Those would be reasonable icks, in my opinion. And same thing if a woman had, like, if you don't brush your teeth, that was reasonable. But then you have other ones where it's if he rides a bicycle, if he eats food a certain way, if he pushes a shopping cart. Where it comes to me and I'm just like, well, there could be other reasonings behind this. And so I believe, this is my opinion, and you can text or call in at 309-451-9299 to tell me whether or not I'm wrong, because I am an unmarried man and not in a relationship currently either. But I believe that the person that you are meant to be with is the person where they could do something that is a minor ick for you. It doesn't violate one of those major preferences of like the ones that I listed. A minor ick. Maybe they say a word that you don't like. They eat something weird, something little like that. The person you're meant to be with is the person that could do some of those things on occasion, not all the time, but on occasion, and you're still willing to put up with it. Because that's, I mean, from what I understand in marriage, it's a person, you're going to fart around them. You're going to burp, you're going to be gross, you're going to have a baby with each other. Like you're going to have a lot of instances in which there are things that are embarrassing, off-putting, issues. You're going to fight. You're going to have problems. You're going to see every side of that person. There's going to be a point in which you find something in the person that you are meant to be with that you might not like the best. That's life. For anybody who is out there saying, I'm going to find the absolute perfect man, the Prince Charming, the Hallmark Christmas movie man, or even woman, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And the unrealistic expectations that we put, especially on men in dating culture, that you have to be a certain height. You have to make up to a certain amount of money at all times in your life. You have to be able to meet all these absurd expectations, are pushing more and more men to live in this disgruntled and unhappy sentiment that I've been talking about the whole